Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and to my late full moon readings. I tried to start on the full moon yesterday. If you saw the one reading that I did present, I was having technical issues. But I really enjoy doing these Gods at Play readings, looking at the opposing forces that may be working with us over the past. Well, for today's reading, it's an interesting one because it could be for the next 2 weeks, waiting up until the new moon, and we're clearing out of the whole Cancer Capricorn cycle, which this lunar eclipse last night, which was not a good one. Listening to all the astrologers, it's not good. It could be, obviously, for the next 4 weeks, working up until the next full moon. It could be for the next 6 months, working all the way towards the next eclipse, which I think is on the winter solstice. It's interesting that this year, which is remarkable for having 6 eclipses rather than 4, that the eclipses are actually smack bang on the solstice points. So, just in case you hadn't noticed, 2020 is a really big year. And of course, there's nothing going on in the world that would give you that impression, is there? Right, so I look at the opposing forces here. This is a... you could ask a question beforehand. It's not the sort of reading where I guarantee that you will actually get an answer because, as I say, we are looking at the forces. We are looking at the energies that are at play. I have 2 rows on my reading. The top row is looking at the gods as archontic masks, as in forces that are designed to oppress us, to press us down and keep us separated from the divine. The bottom row is a more pagan view of the gods, where they are free natural forces, independent entities and energies in and of their own right, and they are working to lift us up. Now, I come from a philosophy where, within reason, and there's a comment in itself, but within reason, everything is true. Everything is real. So I can see the effects of the archontic masks of the gods, and I can see the gods. I have more of a pagan background than not. So it's I have Gnostic leanings as well. So the two sort of clash against one another. And there's always the thought that the pagan gods, if there are only archons and then the angels above them, then the pagan gods that we work with are egregores, astral creations of mankind. But these pagan gods, these egregores, are old creations of mankind. They'll have gained some wisdom and some energy and some power along the way. I don't personally think that they are egregores, although I do think that there are egregores of them, if that makes sense. Anyway, way too technical. Let's me get on to dealing the cards. So it's a general reading. There's not even an element of take what resonates necessarily because it's not that sort of reading. You can have a look at the energies and then observe to see whether they're at play or not in your life, and you're not necessarily going to know while watching the reading right now. But don't take my words as gospel, but also do watch your sun, your moon and your rising signs. I think certainly in a lunar eclipse month, watch your moon. Definitely. Watch your sun sign because, as Soul Garden TV says, Chris Witecki, that's your first story, your primary story. Your rising sign is the secondary story. Although in ancient astrology, your rising sign was the most important. But when we're dealing with moon readings, I think the moon features in there somewhere. So if you don't know what your moon and rising sign are, there's a link down below in the description. Follow that through to, I think it's a Cafe Astrology one, but AstroSeek is really good as well, because you can do all sorts of little, like change the house system that you're working with, and do you want to see asteroids or not. So I think I should start putting the AstroSeek link in there as well. There's also a link down there for a Facebook page for the channel. Now that has its own inbox, so if you want to contact me directly for a personal reading via that, you can do. I post all of these videos obviously, and all the astrology videos that I watch, and sometimes other, well, as I call it, in a respectful and reverent fashion, all the hocus pocus nonsense that I watch, because people can get too serious with this, and the whole point of existence is supposed to be working towards joy, isn't it? You know, so, you know, yes, take it seriously, but don't take it too seriously. You know, have a sense of humour about it, because the world is ludicrous. The fact that we chose to do this as incarnate souls is ludicrous, and so it's worth a smile. Yeah, I think that's it for the housekeeping. So, like I say, looking at the opposing energies, because full moon, sun opposed moon. All right, let me bring up the cards. And of course, as ever, there is a timestamp down below. And if you've just joined us after it, welcome Leo rising and Leo moon. Now, and I've said this for every reading so far, so obviously you're number 5. Interesting selection of gods. And cards opposing you and uplifting you. We have strength on both sides of the coin. We have protection on both sides of the coin. But there seems to be a warning here about biting off more than you can chew, about trying to challenge something that is way bigger than you, with an attitude of, I can do it, I can do it. We have Heracles, with his fabled strength, coupled with Aphrodite with self-love, as forces that are trying to suppress you. Now, I'm not saying that you should stop self-love, but when it is punctuated by Arachne with hubris, there is an element of be careful what you are trying to fight, because you, with Anubis here with protection, you are trying to defend something, and you're trying to defend something in quite a stern manner. And Anubis is a god of death, and he is also opposed, and you are supported and uplifted by Hades, another death god. Change is coming, Leo, whether you like it or not. Change is on its way, and the protection that you are seeking is one that is more nurturing. If you think what Rhea, the reason why Rhea is on the protection as a protection card, is that she sneaked Zeus away as a baby and hid him in a cave to be suckled by a goat. The goat, if I remember correctly, is Sagittarius? Yeah, the goat is Sagittarius. And the reason that she smuggled him into that cave is Saturn, Cronus, who was going to eat him as he ate all of his elder brothers and sisters. Because remember, out of the first generation of Olympians, i.e. not the Titans, Zeus is the youngest. He's the baby boy that came back to rescue the rest of them. He is Hades and Poseidon's younger brother. So there's that sense of protecting what is young, protecting what is new as well, from all the change that may be coming and occurring, and that a resurrection will occur. with Isis here. But resurrection, aha! Now, I did say that, where have I put it? I will go and get the Isis Oracle in a moment, because I did say if Isis turned up, I would pull a card from that. But you have the strength to weather this change, and that's what Andromache is saying here. You have the strength to weather the change that has come, and fighting against it and being cheered on by others. Here we have card number 44 from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell. So that's Goetic Spirit. Well, actually, I don't think the numbers are quite the same as like in the Lesser Key of Solomon of the demons. But we have card number 44 anyway, with Shax, with war and violence on the top row, or on the bottom row, Aelahaya. I did that quite well, that one. With success. So the success is here in accepting the change, letting that change wash over it. Yes, you've got to go into your own underworld, but keep the faith while you're doing it. Let me just add the tarot to this, because I was getting all carried away with the tales of the gods here. But yes, keep the faith. Do not do what Orpheus did and look back at the very last moment in a moment of doubt, because I think that war and violence that Shax offers, it's been hinted at in other readings. So yes, when that urge to protect comes, it will come fast. It will be a fast change that you are fighting against. But you are not being told the whole truth. And even though your friends are giving you a clarity of purpose and saying, yes, that's what you need to do, that's how you need to deal with it, the right way, the safest way for you to deal with this change is to let it wash over you. 10 of Pentacles here. And by taking that more feminine energy form of protection that Rhea offers, and sticking to your, your more spiritual side. So the Hierophant on the bottom row, I was considering this reading, is sticking to your higher spiritual principles, whereas on the top row it's the weight of tradition and the not much room to maneuver in, with what's allowed and what's not allowed. But Andromache here, you have the strength to weather this change. She is clarified by the Fool, so that you can go through your own personal resurrection that sets things right, but it sets things right in a better way. So if there is a change that's coming to attack something, to destroy something that is yours, then I would assume from these cards that there is something wrong with that something in the first place, that one, it gets attacked, that it is weak enough to be changed and destroyed, and two, what you would have to do, I mean, you believe, or you are tempted to believe, that you can be a form of wish fulfillment for people and you can create a rebirth in this situation, but all they are doing is fueling the flight of your own ego, and you don't know all the ins and outs of everything. You have been lied to here. So you may well be lying to yourself, but whatever you believe that you can accomplish in a protective role to fight this change, you can accomplish, well, you're wrong, and you can accomplish far more by accepting this change, rolling with it, and ending up in a far better place. Justice here, right at the end of the deck. Now I'm going to pause for a moment and get my Isis Oracle, because since the Isis card has come up, I've bought the Isis Oracle, so I thought that would be how I would use it. Let me just pause. So this is a new Oracle for me, so you'll have to forgive me, I'm reading from the book. But hey, it will make your video, but oh, okay, that was quick. Key of Life. Spinning the Ankh, the key of life. Now, on an intuitive level, that is telling me that this change that is coming is ultimately for the better for you. Let me show you that. Try and do it so there's no glare. And it's curious how much Isis there looks like Electra. But spinning the Ankh, the key of life. This is saying to me that this new change, when it washes over you, as much as you may be predisposed to fight it, go with it. Allow it to happen, whatever it is. This is eclipse energies at their height, you know, where they bring change. Remember, full moons can be about completions and endings, and let that eclipse energy come in. Now, let me see, Capricorn, so Aquarius, Pisces, right, so you will be a quincunx because Leo is directly opposite Aquarius, which is 1 over. So go backwards. Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo. Yes, it's a quincunx. There is something about the eclipse energies that your sun, your heart, your soul does not initially understand. It is aggravating. That aggravation in and of itself is opening you up to the trap of the archons, the trap of separating yourself from the divine. So put the book the right way up. Let's find this key of life. Eventually. Here we are. The key of life is the mysterious Ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. This mystery is opening to you now. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now, and here Isis is representing resurrection. So, I mean, that speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? It could be in a creative sense or in a physical sense, in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, or a new project that needs to be created in service to humanity. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen. There's another 3 pages to read of that, and I'm not going to read the whole lot out, but how beautiful, how appropriate for everything that we'd seen in the cards. Right then, Leo. So, comment down below if this means anything to you. Obviously, like, share and subscribe. But in the meantime, definitely comment down below. I don't know what your next reading will be, because it's all been a bit chaotic recently, whether it's Mercury retrograde or the eclipse, or, you know, I've had days where I've had the time to film and the tech won't work, or I've had days where I haven't had the time to film. Hopefully I'll get some filming done over the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, good luck with this. Let the change happen. Welcome it. Cheers.